on my phone. I tried to do it in there, but I couldn't work out how.
Yeah. Okay. So, just going to do a bit of a commentary drive today, to help you guys understand that as you're driving around, what you need to be seeing, what are the important things to be looking at, and then what you're going to be thinking about what you've seen, and then what it is you're going to be doing. You know, and I'll talk about maybe we're coming to the end of a road, it's a T-junction, so as I come to the end, I've recognised, yep, T-junction at the end of the road. At a T-junction, I must give way to all traffic using the other continuing road. So because I've got to give way down there, I'm going to be expecting to stop. And so looking behind, I've seen what behind me, there's nothing behind, so then I'm just going to brake whenever I need to, signal if I'm going to be turning left or right. And then as I start to come to the front, I'm going to start looking to see what's happening in that intersection. So that's sort of see the intersection. Think, I have to give way down there. Because I've got to give way, I'm going to have to be ready to stop. Doing, looking behind, slowing the car, signalling, etc. So that's the pattern I'll try and establish. But it's to help you guys know that as you're driving around, what it is, once you get driving, because of course you guys are learners at the moment, what it is you need to be doing. Cool?
Yeah.
So heading out of here, I'm going to have a bit of a look around just to make sure it's actually, you know, sensible to me even trying to move out. There's no massive truck that's pulled up behind me or anything. I'm going, yeah, it should be good to go soon. I've selected reverse gear. I'm not really sure if the car could roll, so I'm just going on the handbrake. I've got the clutch to friction point very lightly. Final check round, including for reverse lights and brake lights behind. Release the handbrake and the car moves just a little bit. Keeping looking, watching for any cars to the ends of the roadway and for vehicles all the way along, not just the ones behind me, but 3 or 4 cars along that could reverse out and become a problem for us. Notice I'm talking about everything behind me, what's around me, where I'm going to, because even if there was a car beside me, that car's not going to move, but the cars behind me might. So I'm taking my focus on where I'm going mostly. Clutch at friction point, release the handbrake and the car just moves forward. That car's reversing out, so we're just going to stay nice and slow, not to cause a problem for them. And easing back a little bit. Now if he'd looked all the way down here, maybe he would have decided not to back out. He probably couldn't see because of the cars. We're happy to let him back out and drive on. Alright, I'm in a car park. I'm expecting pedestrians and I'm going to be ready to give way to pedestrians at any moment. I'm expecting these cars to reverse out from here. At the end of the little row here, we've got a T-junction. I've seen where it is. I'm looking behind me. I'm signaling. We've got a car coming down behind. But I'm starting to look left and right, and I'm starting to point my car to the left because that's where I'm going. I want to do a turn that doesn't get in the way of this traffic coming through here. That guy's parking. There's no pedestrian crossing where I'm turning, and I'm coming to the left. So from the point of view of actually being able to talk about that, think about how slow I was.
Yeah.
Think about how much I spoke about to, you know, demonstrate to you guys, this guy's just, no, she's cool, right? We're going to move on and show we plan to continue. In front, there's a pedestrian crossing. We've got to be ready to give way to pedestrians who could be running. Turns out no one's approaching, so we're going across. Going around Jarrett's indoor plant hire, keeping a bit of room in case they walk out, but being very slow. We're about to cross a footpath. It's important that we're ready to give way to pedestrians who may be crossing there. Now we're approaching, leaving the shopping centre area, coming out of a driveway onto a road, giving way to any vehicles using the road or any pedestrians crossing where we're going to be turning into. Notice how wide I turn, because I want to come and finish near the left and not cut across onto the side of the road where that guy will be. Got to be really quite close to the parked cars along here because it's such a narrow road, so I'm just staying slow. The roundabout, we're going to turn right. I have to give way at the roundabout, so I'm slowing, expecting to stop. I'm signaling to tell people what I'm going to do. Just watching that car, he's going left, on we go. If he was coming quickly around here, maybe I would wait for him. Notice I didn't try and talk about all the giveaway rules at roundabouts. I just didn't have time. And there'll be more roundabouts later. In the distance, I am seeing orange and yellow and flashing lights. Those tell me that I need to be cautious. Now let's look at what I'm going to be cautious about. First of all is the school zone. And this school zone says 25 when children are present. Now, is that person with the bag under 18? Actually don't know. So I'm staying slow. The gentleman on the footpath, we don't need to stay slow because of him. But if that is a school student or under 18, we have to stay under 25. We've left the zone. Still not sure what age she was. I'm happy that I did the speed. In front of me now there is a children's crossing. The lights are flashing. We must give way to anybody who wants to cross. They've walked on. They're not crossing. We do have to stay under 25 because the lights are flashing. We're going to stay under 25 until we've gone past this 50 speed resume sign. Signaling to the right because we're going to turn right at the roundabout. Slowing, expecting to give way to any person's already on the roundabout, but also ready to give way to someone's going to approach really quickly from the right. Signaling left to tell people that we are going to leave and come this way. Any pedestrians here would know they should wait for us, that they shouldn't cross. Down the end we're going to turn left, but I'm being really mindful that these people that are by that car there are concentrating on what they're doing, then they might suddenly step out, miss this guy because I've focused on them. So really important to keep looking around. They've lost something in the handbag, so they're distracted, right? Okay, down the end we're going to turn left, giving way to all vehicles using that road, and any pedestrians who wants to cross the road I'm turning into. Clear left, clear right, check for pedestrians and go. That person just closed the door in their car, but they maybe forgot something and are suddenly going to swing that door open and jump out again. Car's into reverse, so it's moving. All right, moving on. Traffic lights, we're going to turn left, but I'm a bit nervous about this area that says keep clear because it's telling me there must be an intersection or something there. We're all good. We're going to turn left on Elder Smith Road, signalling early, entering a slip lane where we must give way to all pedestrians who are crossing the slip lane and any vehicles approaching from the right or turning from the other side. That pedestrian is far enough away that we're not interrupting her. On we go. In front of us we have a zip merge. Must give way to all vehicles who are slightly ahead of us. Must signal our intention to move across in front of this guy that's behind us, do a blind spot and move across and join into this one line of traffic. 60k road, continuing. Following over the bridge, can't see what's over the other side of the bridge. Staying near as practicable to the left without being over the line in the bike lane, because we want to keep away from these oncoming vehicles, which you know, it's not very nice having them over there. If we give them a little bit more room, if they swerve our way, we've got more chance of being able to avoid them. So 60k limit. Person in front of us is braking, we're not sure why, so we're just sort of hanging back a little bit. This tells us there's vulnerable pedestrians in the area that maybe not see us or hear us as well as others, or perhaps take longer to cross. So we're just watching out for them a bit more. We are going to turn right at the traffic lights and then travel straight for a while. So I'm going to enter this outer lane because it puts us in the left lane as we get to the new road. Slowing and stopping behind this vehicle far enough back that I could turn out round him if I had to. Coming to a stop, I went straight to first gear in case we have to move forward. Turns out we are going to move forward a little bit because everyone's shifting. And waiting again. Whoop, everyone's moving. See the value of going to first gear like when we first stop, because we don't know when we might have to move straight on. Showing my brake lights to the guy behind to make sure he stops. I think we're going to be here for a while now. Handbrake on, into neutral, want to rest my leg and the clutch system in the car. So 2 lanes are going to turn right. So the most important thing here, the biggest issue really, is right now there's 2 lanes turning. So I need to watch that someone in the other lane might come across into our lane accidentally. I need to watch that I stay in my lane. Going with the guys, predicting when he's going to move and go with him. Then letting him drive away from us to create the safe gap, which I'll talk about a bit later. Right now I want to see that this intersection is safe. It's yellow and we're going to stop again. Yellow light means must stop unless you cannot do it safely. We're going to be here for a while. The guy behind stopped behind us nicely. We don't need to move on at all for a moment. So back to neutral, clutch up and rest. Large intersection, 2 lanes turning right like I mentioned. Starting to listen out for fire trucks or ambulances that might be coming through or approaching the area. If they did need to come through, even if we had a green light, we would still wait and let them go through before us. 2 lanes are turning, I want to finish in the left lane. Slip lane over the other side is somewhere where a car could sort of come out while we're turning. Perhaps if they don't look here, because sometimes at slip lane people only look for those vehicles from there. So we're just going to be mindful of that as we go around the corner. The new road as we turn is actually a 70 road, so that's just a useful thing to know. Really not sure when it's our turn, so I want to get ready a bit early so that we're ready to go as soon as it turns green. Green light means enter if safe. So as it goes green, I'm going to check that it's safe and then enter. Yeah.
Don't see those around very much anymore, the old yellow ones. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's right.
Not really.
But yeah, you
no.
don't see those very much anymore. I used to love those. We never could afford one.
Got the non-original wheels. I bet he's got the original ones sitting home in the shed, all wrapped up in bubble wrap. All right, so it's going to be our turn soon. So I'm preparing to go. There's still cars turning. Release the button on the handbrake. I've got the foot over the accelerator, power up, and just watching the whole way out that nothing's flying through, including the fact that someone could come straight. No one coming through the slip lane, really nice and safe. Just being a little bit wider than normal in case someone on the inside lane runs wide, but making sure I don't end up in the bike lane. Following the road ahead, the car could come out from the side, so just a little glance behind and just covering the brake for a moment. He's staying there, power on again. Looking into the distance, I'm seeing it 60k up there. I do know that the road is 70 at the moment, but in truth there's no point in me going all the way to 70 just to slow down to 60. Guy coming out the servo motor, stolen fuel and zoom out in front of me, we don't know. Slowing back, making sure I'm doing 60 before the sign. Importantly, someone's there's just had a left signal, put his brake lights on, so it could be about to move and pull out. Turns out he didn't, so on we go. 6th gear, car's running smoothly, using the least possible fuel. This guy's going to come across in front, so I'm easing back a bit because he just borrowed some of my safe following distance. Speaking about the following distance, it's where we're sitting far enough back from somebody that if they slam the brakes on we can stop. Recommended safe distance is 3 seconds. We'll count it from a shadow or something on the road as this guy goes past it. There's a shadow on the left. 1001, 1002, 1003 seconds at least. We're a good distance behind that guy. This guy's got brake lights on, could pull out because that means somebody's in it. No, it's just the sun shining on it, but we were making sure anyway. In front of us, we have got a set of pedestrian lights. Those lights could change. We can't actually see if there's any pedestrians standing there at the moment. Looks like no one. Final look in the mirror in case the lights change. They haven't. No one running across, continuing on. Traffic lights up here, we're going to turn left, Shepherdson Road. No one running across, continuing on. Traffic lights up here, we're going to turn left, Shepherdson Road. There's a bike lane on the left, and we're going to turn across that bike lane into the turn lane. We're allowed to use up to 50 metres of the cycle lane to help us do a nice, safe move to the left. But of course, we're checking there's no bicycles in the lane before we do that. Just going to turn the signal off for a moment and then back on, so that guy doesn't think I'm pulling into the servo. Yellow light says stop. I've stopped a tiny bit over the line. I did that to actually give a bit of space to the guy behind, and because if the light's yellow when I begin braking, I can actually use a tiny bit more room to stop if I need to. Technical, Australian road rule, number whatever, part whatever. Okay, now coming to a school zone. The zigzags on the road, the orange picture of the kiddies, and 25. Importantly, we're looking for kids. If we don't see any children there, we don't have to do 25. The flags are out at this crossing. If anyone wanted to cross there, we would have to stop and give way to them. Turns out there's no one there, we can continue on. Alright, warning sign is telling us about the traffic lights. The traffic lights are pedestrian crossing lights. Little look behind because they're likely to change. That's what we should expect. We're in a school area, kids could come from anywhere anyway. They haven't changed, we're going to drive through. Approaching the roundabout. Little warning sign sitting on the roundabout, we'll have a look at that in a moment. Car approaching from the right and travelling through. We're slowing, expecting to stop, but we've checked enough so it's clear and we're going to go through. Do not queue across roundabout. It's actually a law thing. Technically that sign should be white. It's white on the next roundabout. Coming through, pedestrian walking over there. I can see kiddies signs down there. It says children's crossing ahead. In truth, I can't read the word from back there. I just know that shape of sign and that shape of words is what's going to say. I can read it nicely. All right, vehicles stopped beyond the roundabout, so I'm thinking about those. Coming to here, there's a regulatory sign, a white sign with black writing saying that we must not queue across the roundabout because we're not allowed to enter an intersection that we can't clear. A roundabout is an intersection. Kiddies might cross here, but no one's around. Someone's standing at the bus stop though, but he's well back from the bus stop. There's no one of his mates running across to see him, checking that the lights haven't changed and scanning for someone running out of those bushes and across the crossing. Sign reminding us that could be kiddies in the area, more likely here than somewhere else. Roundabout, we're going to turn right. We still have a car behind us. Signalling to the right. Slowing. Expecting to stop. But I want to know everything there is to know about this roundabout before I get there. What I know about it is, it's clear. I am watching that pedestrian. Technically, he shouldn't cross while someone's coming out of a roundabout, but he is going to. So you know what? I'm just staying real slow and then just cruising out. The only place you won't find the word roundabouts and pedestrians cars and pedestrians in the same sentence is at roundabouts. Cars get to go first at roundabouts. But we're just smart and we just let him cross. Alright, 50k road. Reminding us that in this build-up area the speed limit is 50. It's a wide unlaned road. We're staying near as practicable to the left. Watching that no one comes out of these little side roads, as Sajid told us about, could be hiding in the bushes. They're very hard to see. There's a sign up here saying there's pedestrians, vulnerable pedestrians, could be crossing at this refuge island, which is a place where pedestrians have a chance to wait in the middle. But maybe these pedestrians maybe won't see us as well or take longer to cross than others. Warning sign telling us about the intersection around the corner. It's hard for them to see us, so they could pull out in front of us. Cruising on, just managing to cruise along in 5th gear smoothly, but that's saving fuel by keeping in the highest gear that the car will run smoothly in. Still picking up speed but staying under 50. Watching these little side roads. Big sign up there telling us there's a roundabout in the distance, and you can be sure that if it's got a nice big sign like that, it's a big roundabout. Probably multi-laned. Starting to see, yeah, it's multi-lane. There's 2 lanes on the approach. Okay, so I'm well to the left here. I want to turn right, so I've got to somehow get across to the right. So I'm looking, checking, signaling just a little bit early for the roundabout, and doing basically like a lane change with a blind spot and move to the right. Alright, slowing, expecting to stop at the roundabout, but looking around enough that if it's clear and safe, I can keep going. Made my decision to stop, so first. If I'd made the decision to go, I would have gone for second and taken off. Technically could have gone, but we're taking a bit longer because it's time to talk, and it's better to go in this really nice safe gap anyway. Around the roundabout, keep glancing to where I'm going, but watching these guys don't come flying in. This guy is stopping for me. I'm signaling to the left to tell people I'm leaving here. Checking no one's cutting through underneath me, and straight into the merge. I'm actually going to just leave my signal on and tell this guy that I'm planning to move out ahead of him in the zip merge. 60k sign ahead of us. This road's 60. Always look up and out and try and find the speed signs as you turn into any new road. We're going to turn right, we're going to go to Aldi, we're going to do a bit of shopping. Got the signal nice and early, the guy really close behind, so I'm going to tuck into this turn lane and then do most of my slowing in the turn lane so that those guys can merrily go on their way. Must give way to any vehicle coming from the opposite direction. To be safe, I'm making sure I'm stopping really, really straight, and I'm watching in case there's any pedestrians. Now that truck turned. That turning truck will have given us a gap. Getting ready to move, clutch at friction point, and quickly turn and go. Having given way to the car that's turning left because he's coming from the opposite direction also. And watching out for him because he's just going anywhere. Turning into the good old Audi car park. We're all good, giving way to anyone from the opposite direction and any pedestrians crossing the footpath and turning in. Quick check for traffic coming across here because this is a crossroads situation. We'd actually have to give way to the right. We're going to turn right. This guy's now reversing. We've seen he does, he's getting the only one with shade. He's a smart man. Alright, extra points for him. We're going to turn to the right, to pick a park on the right, giving way to anyone coming from the opposite direction and watching this person here because he's very aware there's a driving school car here now. He's trying to get his park perfect. All right, no one's coming from straight ahead. Remember, got to give way to people from the opposite direction. No one coming by. Moving forward till I'm level and turning in. Unwind early, looking down and ahead to pick straight ahead and stopping before the front. And that's just a little drive. As you're driving, there's a lot of stuff to think about. Cool?
Yeah.
Bye.